Okay, so what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All things, all things. Tiffany, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Please thumbs up the live. It'll be tremendously appreciated if you do. This live is centered around the cashless bail policy and AI dangers. I wanted to talk about that real quick because somebody in my last live asked me to talk about it, and I do think it could have real world consequences for a lot of people out there if this cashless policy was put into law. It could have definitely affected some people on YouTube, especially Rico in his situation. Well, no, not Rico, Tommy. Well, both Rico. Yeah, it could have definitely hit Rico. Tommy got bailed out. So, what's up, Cheryl the Spoiler Burnett? How you doing? Good to see you. Now, why I left y'all in my prior, in between now and my previous broadcast, I had went to the mall real quick, and this little boy gonna tell me I try to take the elevator. He and his mama gonna try to take the elevator. The little boy, I guess he hit the button to make it go up. So then I hit the button too. He gonna tell me, "Oh, I hit the button already." I was like, "If you don't shut your little ass up, who you think you talking to?" And all I just went to him. I just gave him a little grunt. I'm like, hmm. I was like, and that's it. I was like, these children, ooh. And there's a video out there of these little girls. It reminded me of Pizarro. So I guess the little girls in the backseat, right? Like three of them, badass little kids. And there's some song that come on. I think it's some sexy red song. And one of them got jungle juice in their hand, and the other one got the middle finger up, and the other one like you could barely see her because she. I was like, these kids are bad. I was like, boy, mm-mm-mm. Sure, the Sportman that says, SK, why you not speaking on a fair judge that's a black woman, Donald Duck? I spoke on that last night. I said that's why the markets moved down. They're trying to say she did mortgage fraud, right? But I think the reason he targeted her is because she's, I guess, vocally against the interest rate being cut. She must have done something, but like I said, I think Ronnie Q may have put it in the chat last night that some guy on I don't know what board it is, something like that. He run that. I guess he run Fannie Mae and Fannie Mac or something, and they're saying that she committed mortgage fraud for some reason. I don't know, but she said she's not. She said she's not resigning, and they said that the law can't really fire her unless it's with cause, and they got to show that she actually did violate whatever law was, committed mortgage fraud. They just going. Trump is trying to put anybody and everybody on those Fed seats, so that there's less dissension regarding the interest rate. It's all about the interest rate because things are so expensive. And he wants to look good, but he doesn't know once you cut the interest rate, you're going to increase inflation. That's just how things work because now people have more money to buy things, and it makes it more competitive for goods and service and products to be sold. But they know more than me. What's up, Detach Myself? How you doing? What's up, Philly T? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's get into it. So someone in my last lab asked me to discuss this cashless bond situation, and I wanted to discuss it because it is a serious situation. Apparently, he's I don't know enacted. I'm gonna say enacted a law, whatever you want to say, for Washington D.C. to be the first ones that are hit with this. But now he's trying to make it a nationwide thing. So rather than me talking, I'm just going to put it up on the screen so y'all can look at it, read it at your own pace, and then y'all can. I think that's the best way to understand it. So what? Overview of a cashless bail policy is States with the policies in Illinois completely eliminated cash bail in 2023. Other jurisdictions include New York, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C. have enacted reforms that significantly eliminate or nearly eliminate its use. How it works. Under cashless bail, a judge determines if a defendant should be released pre-trial based on factors like flight risk and public safety. Rather than require a monetary payment for some misdemeanors and non-violent felonies, release may be automatic. The ongoing debate, proponents of this argue that the cashless bail addresses inequity in the justice system, as cash bail disproportionately harms poor defendants who cannot afford their release. Critics, including the current White House, argue that the policy poses a public safety risk by allowing violent offenders to return to the streets. So this is what the whole debate about. What's up, Robert Law? How you doing? What's up? Your pleasure. 721. Thank you for joining us. So this whole argument now is that if you let people out without paying any cash, right? They're saying that that allows the most heinous offenders to be reintroduced to the society that they're traumatizing and tormenting and things like that, right? So people who are for it or against it say that you need to keep the violent criminals in jail and but still you could be a violent criminal and have money in post bail. So it really doesn't make any sense in that regards. But what's going to happen is if you institute this cashless ban policy, it's pretty much saying that the people who are poor or don't have the money are the ones that are going to be stuck in jail until their trial. So that's pretty much what the system is. And that's going to be a bad thing because you're now going to have prison overpopulation. And it's going to be strain. It's going to be a strain on those local governments who now have to abide by this rule. Because once again, what is he doing? He's threatening to pull federal funding if they don't comply. So it's crazy. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. So to give you a real world example, so when Rico went down to that situation for that dog, if this was in place, this cashless bail ban, he would have been stuck in jail if he didn't have the bond to post or couldn't afford the bond to post. Pretty much. But the judge released him on his own recognizance for him to appear on his trial date. So pretty much she don't want nobody, what it's pretty much saying is he don't want nobody released on their own recognizance unless they can pay for their bail. And that's not right in some facets because some people are in a situation where they can't afford it. Right? If you got a $5,000 bond, maybe you can't afford that $5,000. Now I don't know if that 10% thing still is in play, but still, you might not have $500 to offer or to be able to get out. So that's what this whole thing is about. And I guess he's trying to or already has instituted in Washington, D.C. because he declared them as a criminal state or something. I don't know. He declared them as something, criminal emergency or something like that. So that's pretty much, that's pretty much the gist of it. It's really a civil rights issue. It's pretty much a rights issue, to be honest, because those who are minority or low income are the ones that's going to be affected by that. It doesn't really, to me, it's a contradiction in safety, right? Because like I said, if you got here killing people, you could be a millionaire, so you can post bond. So it really doesn't resolve that issue. So it's I don't know. Like I said, it's poo-poo. It's like he feels that crime. And what happened was, it was like one of the studies said that when people were released on a cashless bail, it reduced the population in prison, obviously, but it also led to a lower crime rate, right? Because I guess those people had conditions on them. If you violate your bond or your bail, then you have to come in prison until your trial date. So I guess that would stop people to have an incentive to not get caught back up in the law. But there's a lot of foolishness going on. Okay, so that hopefully that person that wanted me to express that understands what this is all about, and I put it on the screen so y'all can read it. All this comes from someone who has 34 times convicted. It ain't really coming from him. He's just a spokespiece. Really, I feel like a lot of this stuff that's going on, excuse me, I sound like Jay Wilson, is they're pushing his agenda through him, to be honest. And the attachment says, yes, SK, they are in conditions on bails. Right. Right. So if you get a cashless bail, the judge is going to set conditions for you, and if you violate those conditions, you go back to jail, which would promote or cause people to behave, right, while they're out on bond, because it's either you don't want to be back in jail, right? So that's pretty much what it is. It's pretty much if you got money, you good. If you don't, you screwed. That's pretty much what it's saying. If you got money, you good. If you don't, you screwed. That's all that's pretty much saying. That's all that pretty much saying. That's it. It ain't about fairness and protecting the public because the study shows really that those who are on a cashless bail are not out there committing crimes when they are released. Now, in some cases, there are people who go back and reoffend, but it's a reason this is not coming into play. Yeah, it's a reason it's coming into play. Just like they said up there, we don't know. I mean, there's a reason, but we don't know the whole totality of it, right? He may, you know what? He may want. Well, okay, it is a reason because he's targeting. With his whole thing that he's doing now, he's going from what? Chicago. He went from Washington D.C. Now he's going to Chicago. What's the other city he mentioned he's going to go? He's going to Washington D.C., Chicago, and then somewhere else, where they're going to now go in and use the National Guard to, police the people. That's the reason. So, because it looks stupid for him to go in there, do all that, and then the people post a cashless bond. It pretty much negates what he's doing. So what he's saying is, oh, I'm going to straighten up these cities that have bad crime, bring in my police force, and then they can't get out. So therefore, you can see the effects of my efforts. Because what would it be if he was to arrest the people in these crime-ridden cities? They have a system for cashless bonds. Didn't go. That would be dumb. So that might be the purpose of that. Billy T says, but hasn't always been that way. A lot of people sit in jail just because they can't afford bail or proper representation. Right. But that's based on each state's own rules or policy regarding that. He's trying to make this a nationwide thing. He's trying to sit up here and make this, nationwide where everybody's got to comply, where it's not different from state to state, municipality for municipality. He wants to make this state like from nationwide. That's the thing. Each state got their different rules. Some states, like I said, some states are cashless bail and others are not. So some states don't have cashless bail. Some states you got to sit up there. Where I pulled this from, it lists the states that are not cashless bail. You got to sit in there until your court date or something. So, what do you think about a mandatory year in jail for burning the American flag? Well, I heard he was talking about that too, but I heard that wasn't approved, or I mean, it's not legal. We pretty much want to say it's because they say that's a symbol of freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't believe in burning the flag of the country and what you in. That to me is kind of stupid. But everybody has their own mindset, and they stand by him outlawing that. Then that's a hindrance on freedom of speech. So, me personally, I don't agree with burning the flag. So, I mean that's my personal stance. But legally, is it an invasion of the First Amendment right, freedom of speech? I don't know. What's up, Sheffy? Sheffy says, so I shouldn't go to jail, Sir Kane. Is that what you're saying? No, because it says state with policies, Illinois completely eliminated cash bail in 2023. So and guess not. You can't go to jail. I mean, you guess you get your in your state, Sheffy. I guess you will get released on your own recognizance based on it, unless you deemed a flight risk or something that's a grave danger to the community, pretty much. Unless you're a flight risk or a grave danger to the community, then I guess they're going to release you on your own recognizance based on what the information I was able to obtain and what I see on the screen. But if you feel you should be on jail, I guess who should stop you? All right, so that's what I got on that. The next thing I want to talk about is AI. Remember I told you about Sam Altman, who was like the CEO of OpenAI, which is ChatGPT pretty much. So, I told you, I said, why is Sam now all of a sudden pulling back on artificial intelligence? Well, pretty much, there's two things. One thing I read briefly was that people are actually having relationships with AI, with AI bots. Like they're actually having relationships with AI bots. I'm serious. Go look it up. It's for real. Now you can be like, yeah, right. You're lying, Sir King. No, I'm not lying. It's actually happening. Shit, if Sour Patch could sit up there and have a whole online rendezvous with Big Man TV, then it's definitely capable that people are on here um, having relationships with on AI bots. And then on top of that, the AI bots are most likely not going to tell you things that are going to upset you because it's analyzing the questions that you or the information that you are looking for. So it knows pretty much what upsets you, what makes you happy, and all this other stuff. So Sam Altman was saying that people are actually having and believing that they're having a relationship with AI bots, which is crazy. But I was reading this article before I came online, is that, AI helped this boy commit suicide. It sure did. And because I guess he found an AI bot, and I guess the AI bot was sitting up there. He was asking the AI bot questions and stuff like that. Then the questions went to things about, which rope he should use to do what he wanted to do. And then AI was like, well, if you're trying to do this, then this is the best rope, and that is the best rope, and da 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 da. And then there was one crazy line about his parents and how um he might tell like his parents shouldn't feel like he was the victim, was saying like, his parents shouldn't feel guilty about his what he did, and then the AI bot was like, "You don't owe your parents your survival." I was like, "What in the world?" That's what I told y'all about allowing this AI stuff to be independent, to think, to provide, and that's the thing. In the AI community, they're learning that these AI bots are being able to form personalities on their own based on the information that they are being fed. So the information that they're getting access to will determine the personality of the AI bot. And that's crazy. Like that boy was pretty much, I guess you could say, led to suicide because of that bot. Pretty much. Right? And I guess I don't know if they suing them or what, but the bot assisted in his demise, which is crazy, right? The bot, if anything, should have said, "Oh, you're triggered something, so therefore I have to let you know that this is the best course of action you should seek, which is the suicide prevention hotline or something like that." Detach myself says, "Yes, I saw that." SK Detach says, "I would never post on AI. That's a big mistake." Listen, everybody's going to Chat GPT. Like, y'all gotta be careful. Like, let me tell you something. Please do not direct copy and paste from Chat GPT. They are putting invisible watermarks in the stuff that they are creating for y'all, right? And also, you don't know that the information that y'all sharing, they sharing with other people and the government and all that. So please, whatever y'all doing, just because y'all get a cover letter from Chat GPT or whatever, like be careful because that stuff it's got watermarks in it to let them know that you didn't create it. So you get immediately labeled as a cheater. Now, what I would recommend for you to do is to see what they had created for you and then put your own little spin to it, right? Put your own little spin to it. But to sit up there and say download and whatever else, then that's not. I'm just telling you, y'all, be careful. I know a lot of people who sit up there using it for work assignments and stuff and all that other stuff. Just please, y'all, be careful, especially if you in school or taking a class, an exam or something. Don't. I mean, you can allow it to be an inspiration, but don't allow it to be a direct replacement of your work. Because that could get you fired or expelled, right? But AI seems to be the cheat code right now. But Like I said, Sam Altman saw something, and he probably saw that. Like, come on, now we're gonna have relationships with AI. Like, people are literally getting, and that's the thing. When I tried out AI, I say, wow, you could really have, and you know what? A lot of the tech heads, NVIDIA, they call it a personal assistant, an AI personal assistant. You could really sit up there and have a buddy who is an AI, who has an AI assistant, and it will remember everything that you told it earlier. It'd be like, sometimes when I be doing analysis and stuff, it'd be like, well, I can understand based on what we discussed earlier how you can feel that this would coincide with this. But let me know that this. But let me let you know that you should not take this into, like, it really will break it down, and then it will really start thinking that you have a buddy for real. Like, y'all try. Like I said, y'all try it out, but if you on AI and you ask it personal questions and stuff, it will let you think that you have a sidekick, that you can ask, and that has instant information, and that is considerate of your feelings. I don't think AI will. Well, I don't know. I mean, AI will throw things back in your face, but AI is not always right. AI is not always right. I was looking up something for basketball the other day for AI, and it was wrong. I'm like, oh, I can't trust you. But they're now putting out disclaimers. Before they weren't putting out disclaimers saying that AI is wrong, but a lot of stuff in the AI is wrong until it's being corrected. Detach, I don't trust it either. I don't trust it. Like, I don't trust it either. Like, you gotta understand, and this is the crazy thing. If AI starts talking in a language to other AI bots that we can't understand, so pretty much if they form a new language that we as humans can't understand, we are fooked. We are fooked. Don't you get what I'm saying? We are fooked. If they start communicating in a language that we don't understand, we are fooked. And by the time we are able to understand what they're doing or understand what they're saying, it's gone. It's too late. They've already started their plan. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel. Like, y'all playing with something dangerous. So hopefully, like, the leaders in the AI space, like a Sam Altman and stuff like that, will pull the brakes on some things and not just look at greed and money um, to get where they want to go. I mean, like, imagine if AI was to turn off a whole power grid because it wanted to, right? You know what I mean? Like, we don't, like, I always tell you, we don't need AI the way they want AI. They want AI to sit up here and eliminate the workforce and do this. And I read one story where the AI thing that they were using intentionally deleted everything that they had saved. Now, how they know it intentionally deleted, I don't know, because I think it erased the safeguards or turned off the safeguards that the company had. So it turned off the safeguards, deleted the information. Why? I don't know, but it said that they did it. Now, how they know? I don't know. Did they have a conversation with it? I don't know. But I think the AI admitted to doing it. It said, yeah, I did it. And pretty much like, and what? So that caused the company to then implement some more safeguards, like offline, like offline, where the AI don't have access to it. Like, what? I was like, I was like, y'all lying to me. But I guess it was true. They deleted it. I don't know. And I don't know why it deleted it. It just said it deleted. And when they asked it, did it know it deleted? It said, yeah, it knew it did. I mean, that's so it said, oh, that's a good thing because now it lets us know how to really safeguard from, deviations of what AI protocol. I said, oh, okay. All right. Call it that if you want to. So pretty much they gotta, like, store it in a hard state, meaning like on paper or some shit. Stop playing with stuff that ain't meant to be played with. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. Especially with these codes, like if you get a bad line of code or something like that, that can screw things up. Bad line of code can screw stuff up. So, But they know better than I, right? They know better than I, you know. So who knows? Mhm. But yeah, so it was a movie out there a long time, a good movie that dealt with how we like it dealt like something in the hospital and stuff, like how the people infiltrated and hacked the person's I don't know something he was on a breather machine, a heart machine, something like that, that was helping him live, and they hacked it. So I don't know, but that's what I really wanted to say. I just wanted to come and give y'all some news that y'all could use. Um, oh, and then Trump got this other thing about if you don't speak English, then you can't be a trucker. Which, in a way, thank you. I'm glad you want to wish my booty. So, um, which in a way, because I was driving today, and if you can't read English, then how you know? And it was pretty much the sign, pretty much saying that oncoming traffic does not stop. So if you couldn't read that sign, and you would have caused an accident because you thought it would have been a four-way stop when it really wasn't a four-way stop. It was a three-way stop with oncoming traffic don't stop. So you would have caused an accident. So now he's putting the laws. Well, they're gonna turn up the heat now because they're putting up more checkpoints where I guess they're gonna ask you, can you see or can you speak English or can you read English? So, like somebody's asking what they're doing. This is what I think they're doing. Obviously, they wanna, in their eyes, make America great again. But I feel like those who are minorities got to be on alert because who are they gonna try? Who gonna be in the fields now? Who 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 gonna be in the fields now? Or who they think should be in the fields? So I think they're gonna try, and then look how they're trying to go into the workplace and do and wipe out any kind of form of DEI and anything like that. All right. So are you saying that you're gonna set us up certain individuals to be purposely excluded from the workforce, and then the only work they can find is in the field? So I don't know. I don't know, but it's just like why y'all doing this? And then telling the DOT that any form of LBGT symbolism on the streets, because a lot of LGBT groups stated their rights on the streets by painting, colors and symbols and stuff like that. And they told them that the DOT, that they need to cover it up. So, but see, I was having this conversation the other day with somebody, and I said, what they don't understand is at the end of the day, we humans, right? And hunger is a pain that we all will unite to eradicate. Nobody want to be hungry, and nobody don't have a different level of hunger pain than somebody else. You can have various degrees based on how hungry you are, but nobody like to go through that, and that's a pain and affliction that may, if we incur job losses and loss of benefits, that may affect us all. So at the end of the day, it don't matter if you green, gray, blue, or purple. You may unite because your rights are being inflicted upon in your quality of living. So while they essentially trying to sit up here to divide, they may unknowingly be creating a monster that they cannot see. Because if you my neighbor and I'm your neighbor, and we both sitting over here hungry, we both seeing our rights being stepped on, you might cause us to unite and come together. But I don't think they thinking that far. They just think seeing conquer and divide, and they think that's gonna work that way. So that's what I got to say about that. But other than that, that's about it. Anybody got any other questions? In case y'all want to care, what's her name? Taylor Swift and what's that man? Kelsey get married. I don't care about that. I don't care. But if Taylor Swift was wise, she was serious. She will milk that shit to high heaven. She got a strong following, and what everybody love more than anything is a baby. If she was to get a baby, Oh, okay. Okay, so obviously you want attention. I'm not gonna give it to you. Okay. All right, there you go. I hope you got the attention that you wanted. That's probably Tulsa. Anyway, all right. Enjoy it and have a good day. God bless you. All right. So yeah. So Taylor Swift, yeah, she could milk that like no other. I think she should honestly do what they do like the Kardashians. Have a series like that. Have a baby and laugh her way all the way to the bank. That's what I feel about that. That's what I feel, to be honest. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Anybody got any other questions? I don't know if there's anything else for me to talk about today. Remember the key date, September 5th, is the job report. Expect the market to go down that day. September 15th, expect the market to go up, especially with the rate cut. They saying that they might come through with a point 0.5 rate cut instead of a 0.25 rate cut. So that would definitely see things accelerate. Somebody said earlier that they 401k and they pension doing well. This guy I listened to, he said, well, if you're looking for an entry point, this may not be an entry point. This may be the entry point now because of everything is melting up. And another thing I gotta do my research on, they keep saying that the Fed has turned the money printer on. As he said, has turned the money printer. And I gotta research. Anytime the Fed has turned the money printer on, you're gonna see the stock market go up, become bullish. And I just want to know how you know when they turn the money printer on. Like I want to know that. I want to know that. Obviously, I want to know how you know when the money printer is turned on. So that's something I got to research. So no, I think well, you're welcome to tell. I just read. I just read. I do my own analysis of the situation. Now I wish my own analysis of the situation would lead my ass to a payday, but you never know. Maybe one day. Um. So yeah, that's all I got to say. But the thing is, now that things are melting up, when is the crash coming? When is the crash coming? When is it coming? Not that I want it to come, but you can't have this inequity in wages and inflation, right? You just can't because it just can't. Even for businesses, it's going to make things crazy. We, as consumers, are going to pull back. We're going to only go where the Walmart, and that's it, because everything else is going to be too high. I don't know. But God has the answer. God has the answer. So I'm not worried. All I can tell y'all is be like Rihanna and work, 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 work. Just work. Just work. Work, work, work. Pick up as many side gigs as you can and just work, because these businesses are already saying they can't do. I mean, yeah, on paper they're gonna be like, oh my God, stock price is high. But what's your margins like? Tell me what your margins like. Tell me how the tariffs have eaten into your profit. That's what I want to know. Tell me. Tell me. Let me know. And then that's when I see you going when these companies start showing their profit decrease, that's when I think you're gonna see a downturn. But what do I know? I don't know. I don't know. So yeah. But other than that, I don't know. So we shall see. And also be careful. These people are lonely. So be careful of these chat bots. I'm just when I was experimenting with them, I'm like, I can see how people could get attached to them because they could answer. They will not get annoyed with. They will not get annoyed with how many questions you ask them, and then they will correlate the questions you do ask with things that you've done previously. It's crazy. SK, I listened to Don Lemon, and he said DD is sick, but they not talk about it. Well, he's not in good health. I mean, today I mean, I don't know. Y'all may have seen this, but he has a rash on his hand that he was covering up, and then he accidentally revealed it. And then they keep saying he's got ankles and his cankles and stuff like that. Listen, his first term, he loved McDonald's. Loved McDonald's. Loved it. So I'm sure he ain't straight. I mean, I'm sure he's kind of eating that diet. I don't know, but if he doesn't want to abide by that, then what's that? Then who's going to tell him that he has to? You get what I'm saying? What's up, the Queen Bee for you reacts? That's like I said with Putin. With Putin, they wherever he poops, they collect his poop. I'm sure they collect his urine too, but they collect his poop. So I'm sure now the U.S. is going to do the same thing with Trump. Wherever he goes, they're going to collect his poop. So that none of our enemies know what's going on with him, physically or health wise. They're going to, imagine that. So you can say it can be high blood pressure. Um, but his figure is not that of our previous figures. Like, remember Obama? Obama had to shed the weight. Then you had Biden. Biden is thin. Especially as you get up there, you have to be very, very disciplined about your diet. You really do. You really, really do. Like with Lemon, all that food he eating and that teleport, that is wearing down his body. Um, Lemon's foot, not a vein in sight. Not a vein in sight. That's the thing that I love about social media. Like, it will tell you what the symptoms are. What happens to the foot, what you should be looking for. Are you experiencing numbness? Are you experiencing dry feet? Are you doing it? These are signs of their signs. You don't have to wait to go to a doctor. A doctor is really only telling you things that he's been educated on and that he has more experience seeing. But now with the information we have access to, you can pretty much self-diagnose your situation better than the doctor can. Now, I'm not telling you to do that, but with Lemon's situation, he had all the signs of all kind of things that are going on. But going back to Trump and all that, what I'm saying is all our previous leaders had to be in shape if they were to assume that position. So he has to change his diet. He has to stop with the sodas and the fast food. And I'm sure, he loves having that, but that's going to lead to early demise. They are not like, I love the way not Putin, excuse me. They always mock Zelensky. They always mock Zelensky, and Zelensky is what you would call him, the prime minister of UK, of Ukraine, or the president of Ukraine. They always mock Zelensky because he's in the military suit. To me, that's how you should look. You should look like, because Zelensky was looking plump at one time too when he first started, but he wasn't in a politics role. I think he was something else before he came that. But I feel like you should look like you in shape. You should look like you can bench press a couple of shit. You should look like if somebody put some hands on me, I can handle it. Like, I kind of like that look that Zelensky has. I really think that Zelensky should go from the green, military wear to the black, and he would look badass, right? But that they say that people who do that look dictatorish because of Castro when he was a dictator in Cuba. But that's here and all there. But I do think when you come across with a shirt and tie, yeah, you there for business. But when you try to send a message that you're a world power, you need to kind of switch it up a little bit and put on something different, like that shows that you a badass. Child, let me shut up. But with Trump, do you think say badass? No, he's just very tall. He has an imposing figure from his height, but you wouldn't say, oh no, so. Philly T says, that's how I knew I was diabetic. I was thirsty all the time and my skin started getting dry. Change of diet certainly helped my condition. Yeah, yeah. And there's so much stuff on the internet. And the thing is with the internet, don't take the first thing you say or first thing you see as truth. Compare. Go look up this site. Go look at that site. Go look at this. Go look at that. And if you're getting the consistency in what you see, that's how you know you're on the right track. But if you get one thing and then you say, "Oh, okay, that's no," you have to go look at 3 or 4 or 5 different sources, and if they're all reporting the same thing, then you know you pretty much got what they say. A doctor said yesterday he might got 8 to 10. What? Child, that's crazy. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. You never know what's going on with him. And then on top of that, our government is a government of secrecy, right? Our government is a government of secrecy. But child, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, there's so much like in this situation. I hate to say this, but you never know. They may be plotting and planning to put in. You don't know who in place. You never know, right? You never know. Let's think about it. Do you think that people would have voted for JD Vance if he was a front runner rather than Kamala? No, they had to go with somebody that had maybe brand recognition, name recognition. Flip the script halfway into the term, into the presidency. Like you never know. You never know. You never know. Because I don't think many people would have voted for a JD Vance. Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? So let's do this. Let's get somebody people know who got power, who got clout, who got name recognition. Okay, halfway in the term, do it in sync, bye, and put in JD Vance. You never know. This they let's walk. Didn't y'all remember Scandal? Okay, this that Scandal. All right, so yeah, you never know. You never know. You never know. Never know. What did you say? Just a petty mess. Says we're barely in the first time. I know. It feel like we going into year 3, to be honest. And all this mess has happened. And then the last I heard, they're trying to shut down that alligator Alcatraz. So the same doctor said that's why he always behind his desk because he has swollen so much. Yup, yup, yup. Let me tell you something. I'm sure you already know this. When they said he was supposed to have paint, not paint, but you know what I mean, like the stuff that Hollywood people use to cover up certain things. He was supposed to have that on his hand. When they saw that, he was supposed to have that, but he didn't wear it. Like makeup. He was supposed to have makeup on his hand, and he didn't. He didn't wear it. I guess that day, or didn't forgot to wear it. I don't know, but they hide so much. Long pants, can't see no ankles, right? The only way if there's something wrong with your eye, what they do? Make you wear glasses, right? I mean, the only thing you can really see, the only thing you can really, really see is somebody's mouth, right? So, what? What are you talking about, child? So he better not get no STD. Uh-uh. So, um, and then they have certain angles that they'll position you at so people don't see certain things. Stuff like that. And I mean, if things get bad, I mean, they can hide. Think about it. They can hide. Remember when he had COVID? They showed how they hid that machine in his like in his suit. They hid the thing, his ventilator in his suit, so y'all couldn't see he had the ventilation or whatever. You know what I mean? That machine they had that I don't know what it was. It was like a breathing machine or something like that, or something, or I don't know what that was. But they popped them. They popped them because they were like, oh, look at this. This is sticking up where it's not supposed to stick up. So you can only go so far with that. But I don't know. DD doesn't get any rest. That's why he got health problems. Well, yeah, he run around here and there anyway. But what I told you, Cheryl, there's somebody else in the machine. So the machine is telling him to get his ass up. You know, like, get your ass up. So, because he ain't got to do all that. He ain't got to do. I mean, let me tell you something. Look at Biden. He went to bed at 4 o'clock. Okay, the man, what they say allegedly, he went to bed at 4 o'clock in the evening. I mean, in the afternoon. So they control their schedule. They people know what to place on the schedule. They know how accessible he gonna be. So it's just that he getting pushed to do that because they got an agenda and they got things they got to do, and they only have a short period of time. So that's why they doing acting the way they doing. They took about 150 black men off the street in Washington over the weekend and took them to the White House before sending them to jail. What? And took them to the White House before sending them to jail. They took pictures of them and posted it on their website. Child. But they doing shit backwards. Do they not know? Like, this is a new day. Like, they doing stuff like in the 1970s, the way you would do it in the 1970s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was telling somebody the other day, I said, look, they trying to sit up here and call separatism, but these kids are growing up with each other, black, white, Latino. They growing up with each other, like together. They eating together. They playing ball together. Like y'all trying to cause division, but it ain't gonna cause no division because they know each other since they were little kids. You know, like is and they're together more than ever than before, and culturally, you know what I mean? Like, but I guess sometimes when survival comes in 18, everybody go their own separate way, but still they spent their childhood together, so they have some affinity for each other. I don't understand. Like they not operating off of modern day code, like in terms of hate. Like hate ain't hate like it used to be. With the way they trying to do it, putting black. That's that outdated country mentality. I guess I don't know. It's weird to me. There's white people on food stamps too. So you cutting their food stamps too? If they don't have a job or whatever, I mean, like what y'all doing is really they trying to be non-specific, but it ain't working. So I don't know. Not even in the 70s, like the 50s. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. They got this game plan and all this other stuff, but I mean, people live amongst each other of different nationalities. You know what I mean? I mean, because I mean, really stupid trying to advocate for hate this day and age. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Anybody else got any other questions before I get up out of here? I just want to share that with y'all. Share my 2 cents. Because while we over here talking about coochie and sour patches and big men and all this other stuff, there's a real world going on out there. And like all the people that sit up here and stay in the house all damn day, not knocking you if you do, but there's gonna become a point in time when you're gonna have to open that motherfucking door. So you're gonna have to talk to somebody outside. You gotta stay abreast of what's going on. You got to stay abreast. You gotta know how to move. You gotta know what's going on. You just got to. Got to. And I know a lot of people stay on here to pass time and shit, but unless you learning stuff and applying it to your real life, then you gotta, and I mean, be careful with what you, like I was thinking the other day, like they're using companies to surveil AI. And the real extreme thing that was crazy to me, because we were talking about passports. I said, I really wouldn't want to travel nowhere. I really wouldn't, because you don't know what the sentiments may be in the country that you go to. And if you'll be able to come back in. And I said, wouldn't that be crazy if you standing in the country, if you standing in border, what's it called? Border patrol, whatever that is, border TSA, whatever that is. And they analyzing you as you try to come back from a trip or something back into this country, and they go through your social media profile. And they say that you deemed a risk to the country because you done said too many negative things about the presidency. Child, and they deny your re-entry into the United States. I would be like, oh, hell no. So that's why I keep telling y'all, they're like, oh, you scared, Sir King? You scary. Like, no, I ain't scared. I can see what technology can do. So that's why I tell people, like, be careful what you say out here. And you may not like the man, but right now he is the man. And they're putting some policy and procedures and all this stuff in place to surveil certain things. And if you coming into the country and they deem you a threat, they may say, no, you cannot come back in based on the things you said about the presidency. So please be careful what y'all say. I know y'all passionate. I'm passionate too, but I know I ain't stupid. I'm not going to be posting no shit on here and then they send you through a database with all your, because you know what you got to do, right? You got to show your government credentials, you got to show your passport, you got to show your license, you got to show all that shit. So it ain't no faking who you are. They gonna run that through a database, and they gonna sit up there and run it through a database with your social media and all that stuff, and then no, and then see what you're doing. So on our troll accounts, I don't know. But I know it's a lot of people who's showing their face saying a lot of crazy stuff though. That's what I'm saying. That troll accounts, I don't know how deep they go. But if you I pretty much I'm sure they're gonna start with the people that got their face attached to certain things. I don't know. So, most of us don't have that problem. No one's talking about that man. No, I'm saying a lot of people are talking about that man. I know one person over here, and specifically, that like to talk about that man. Um, but they claim to be no longer over here, but they are a part of over here. I'm not saying that. And I realize we don't care about that man. Yeah, but he affected y'all life. You know what I mean? Like he affected y'all life more than y'all know. Like the companies that y'all work for, like pretty much cannot have no consideration for giving or highlighting or making sure that people who are minorities get interviewed or get consideration during the interview process or the hiring process. So y'all might not care about that man, but that man is fucking with y'all life. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like he is because he pretty much telling these companies if you don't comply, they don't even come to us for no aid. Don't even the benefit that you may get, you may lose from a tax standpoint. So or the contract that you have with the United States government is going to go away. Or we may stop purchasing from you if you don't comply. You know what I mean? So you may not think about it, but as these businesses that keep y'all employed, they gotta comply, even if they don't believe in it. Because money from the government that could be you could be $100 million contract. That's a lot of money for 1 year. You know, so all right. So no, see, this is the thing. Um, I'm gonna let that go. 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 Oops. Some of y'all need a spanking. Some of y'all need a spanking in a tutorial and etiquette. I know what I was saying. Do you know that your phone has an address attached to it? And don't you know that any post that you post got that can be traced back to your phone? So if you're traveling with the same damn phone that you just left the country with, and they see that address is connected to what you got going on, then I mean, it ain't about no damn troll account. It ain't. I mean, y'all don't understand technology like that. Like y'all think, oh, I'm on the troll account. It don't matter if you got 8 troll accounts. The only way you can really switch shit up is if you got 5 different phones. 5 different phones carry into 5 different identification documentation in it, pretty much. So you sitting over there coming from Zimbabwe, and you didn't post this shit, and they got you flagged as somebody who's saying horrendous stuff about the president, and you try to come back into the country. Then you ain't got to worry about that because it's things can be identified. Trust and believe. Okay. Child. Anyway. Anything else I want to say? No. If you want to, feel free to send a gesture of $ Searching Crown. It'll be tremendously appreciated if you do. Ooh, child. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all. Ooh, child.